I know that things have sort of changed for everyone in terms of like their workspace and how they're interacting with their office. A lot of people are working from home now, but that's not the only thing that's really changed. It's also been like advertising, and businesses as a whole have kind of had to pivot and readjust to the market and kind of for instance, if you're a business that relies completely on travel or people hanging out in public places together, you're being wholly disrupted by everything that's going on with COVID. And that also extends to advertising, which is what we're here to talk about today. So we're going to kind of talk about the winners and the losers in this, what people are doing differently, what people are doing right, and then also how it's kind of affected our own clientele and some stuff that we've done in order to kind of adjust strategies going into this. So, Shannon, why don't you start us off with, do you want to talk about Walmart first or McDonald's?
So I guess we can kind of lump those together as ads that I don't think really worked very well to address people's concerns about coronavirus. So if you've been in a Walmart lately, you know they're not totally like adhering to all the regulations as far as I've heard some things that employees like can't really wear face masks. I've seen a few places where they have the plexiglass, like some grocery stores, but I haven't been to a Walmart yet, so I'm not sure if they're doing that or not. But so they haven't really been, and they definitely let more than like 10 people in their stores for sure. And but you know they haven't totally been implementing the guidelines that that have been mandated across the country. But they released this commercial recently that I saw where it's the employees singing, I forget what song it is. I think it's Stand By Me or something like wholesome. And it interjects clips with like all these families like social distancing, but like doing like cute. It's basically like a wholesome singing video, which I don't know if everybody saw the Imagine Celebrity singing video. Did you see that one, Sean?
I did not. No, I didn't. I didn't. Wasn't able to catch
So
that.
basically, a bunch of celebrities like on Twitter or something like sang a version of Imagine and just like clipped it all together, and it was supposed to be all feel good, and it got a lot of backlash because like this isn't really doing anything. Like I don't know, it's kind of just like a weird tone deaf choice, but I guess Walmart decided to do that too, and everybody's just like this. It just feels weird. Like it doesn't really do anything to strengthen the cause or fight against it all.
It's a weird it's a weird thing to like try and grab onto as a marketer, because it's like, okay, so if we try to capitalize this and like bring togetherness into our messaging, then like we also have to have the backup of like, okay, we are donating to hospitals, or we are like helping actively communities that are more affected by this, or at least like that's what you're saying about like this large corporation Walmart trying to capitalize on this national crisis, but then also doing maybe not the most that they could to like stem the crisis as well. So it's like every PR grab also has to come with like action behind it. It can't just happen in a vacuum. It kind of reminds me of the Pepsi commercial from a while back, the like two Super Bowls.
I think, are you talking about the Kylie Jenner?
I think so. The one where it was, I don't know who, listen.
It like weirdly commented on police brutality because she gave Pepsi or something. Like,
so an example of like
the riots and stuff.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, this is a cultural moment that we're going to try and capitalize on, but at the same time, we're not doing anything about it. So, and that's kind of an example of like just kind of like empty marketing, and people are really susceptible to that, and kind of like or not susceptible. People are really watchful for that, and they'll notice it very immediately when you're trying to just like capitalize on something and not actually have any value come forward. I would say like the opposite of that is obviously very good for your business if you're able to for instance, all these grocery stores that have been open, like Kroger for instance, just gave their employees a bunch of bonuses for like across the nation for staying open and for being available during this crisis. And it's like pseudo hazard pay, but like they're able to like signal to everyone, hey, our stores are open. Also, we're helping our people out during this time where, unemployment's the highest it's ever been. And so it's a really, that's like a much more subtle way. You don't have to overtly say like, hey, we're all in this together. You just have to show that we're all in this together kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it just, I don't know, something about that ad, I was just like, like the employees probably aren't really like singing like this,
Oh, of
it's
course
just,
not. Yeah.
so it just kind of felt, it just didn't feel genuine. And I think with any advertising, that's really crucial, is you have to feel genuine, and especially in times like these. And I think the Pepsi thing is another example where it's not a global pandemic, but it's like, it's something going on in society that's like not great at all. Like, it's
Yeah.
really bad. People are getting hurt. Like, it's like you can't avoid it, but you do have to be really careful about
Like how you talk about it. Like how you talk
like
about it is very important.
not being too doom and gloom, but don't be like, there's this hashtag going around on Twitter, toxic positivity. So don't be like,
Yeah.
don't like brush it under the rug and be like, it's fine. But
Mm-hmm.
you have to address it in a way that's funny and like relevant, but still kind of hones in on the seriousness of the issue. And one campaign that did do this really well is the Burger King Whopper campaign. So they have this one commercial that's really funny. It's everybody laying on the couch, and then the couch like tilts up and they all like salute. And so you don't have to get up off the couch to like be a patriot, basically, is like the tagline of the ad. But I mean, that's really smart because it makes the viewer feel noble and patriotic for like being lazy. And it's like a ridiculous idea, but it's also like exactly what we should be doing right now. And it's also, they're not really too focused on sales. They had another campaign where it kind of taught you how to make a Whopper at home. So they're not really trying to capitalize on this. They're kind of just using their platform to be like, we do deliver if you do want, like they do say that they deliver, but basically they're like, if you don't want to, just make sure you're staying home. And if you do want a Whopper and you don't feel comfortable getting it delivered, here's the recipe. So they also, and this is the thing too, is it's, if they just did that campaign, it'd be fine, whatever. But, to be taking on this messaging, you kind of want the company to be doing something for, the greater cause. So they're actually donating like proceeds to nurses and stuff. And they've been actually delivering food to truck drivers and stuff. So, just doing like a little something to help.
Yeah, again, it's like showing it and not telling it, right? Which is way more effective generally. Also, just want to say hi, Kevin. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Elena. They both popped in chat, said hey. So yeah, crazy times indeed, Elena. Absolutely. So it's interesting when so you talked about that ad from Burger King where they were all on the couch and the couch kind of stands up and they salute. I feel like that level of humor is actually something that TikTok has capitalized on really well. Like all across TikTok, people are making COVID-19 related content, all kinds of memes, all kinds of rants, all kinds of jokes and pranks, and people like joking about how we're all in isolation. And I feel like that is a good type of humor to aim for. TikTok capitalized on that, where if you ever like see content that is related to COVID-19, related to isolation, if it's like either hashtag or the algorithm has like sought out that it was that way, like determined that, then a little banner pops up at the bottom that with like a here's how you stay safe during COVID-19. And at first it was like wash your hands, and then as the thing progressed, it was like, hey, stay home. Isolation is important. 6 feet apart. Blah blah blah. Everything that we're now hearing from like government officials. So I think it's like, and that's a very subtle way, right? It's like that's even more subtle than Burger King being like, hey, like we're not trying to sell you Whoppers, but if you want to make one at home, like that, here's how you do it. TikTok is like, look, we're not going to tell you like to not make quarantine content, because of course you're going to make quarantine content. We're just going to also tag on to every piece of quarantine content. Here's how you stay safe and here's how you keep others safe, which is ultimately what the whole thing is about. So again, a really like subtle kind of subversive way of getting that information in front of people that as a consumer can make you feel good and make you feel like the company is doing good for the community, which is always good for a brand, right?
Yeah, I
And
mean, I think on that note, I'm sure everybody's email inbox has been flooded with like
yeah.
COVID. I got the weirdest. I don't. Oh, it was from like Universal Studios parks, which I haven't been to like that since I haven't been to a Universal Studios park in like at least 6, 7 years. Like it's been a really long. Like I didn't even know they had my email address, but and nor do I know how. But they were like our COVID-19 update, and I'm like, I don't. I think it's instead of going the email route, I would do a banner on your website, which we've done for a lot of our clients. And just with like a quick little, you can make a landing page if you want to go into more detail about kind of how you're staying safe and like kind of how you're addressing it within your company.
Yeah.
And that'll differ between industries, but I know we have one for like our OBGYN clients, about appointments and like precautions they're taken, and also like MSCO, which is our HVAC company. That's one of our clients. They have a little banner on their site, and you go through that, and they talk about the technicians wiping everything down, wearing gloves, masks, and getting their temperature taken, all that stuff. So, just I think that's a better route than like sending an email blast, because I think at this point people are kind of annoyed about the email. So, just put that banner on your site, and even if people aren't subscribed to you, they kind of know like, oh, they're addressing this in some way. So
I think that's really smart to be cognizant of like what your audience is also seeing a lot of. Like everyone's knee jerk reaction to this was put out as much content about how safe our company is, how clean our company is, which was great. It's a great idea. Please do that. And if you haven't done it yet as a company, please do it now, because that is what everyone wants to see from a company for a little bit. Now we're a little bit further into this crisis. We're about a month in, roughly 3 weeks, and it's though it feels like 6 years, right? It feels super long. But
yeah, March was like the longest decade ever. Like that was crazy.
March was pretty freaking long. And then so going forward, people are now stuck in their homes, and there's an opportunity to capitalize on that awareness that they have. Like so, there's a lot of just like being in your home, being around the problems in your home is really good for home service companies. You never really know that your AC has like a ticking noise or is making a weird sound until you're home 24 hours a day and you hear it 24 hours a day. You never hear that squeaky floorboard when you just pass it once in the morning to go to work, but when you hear it every morning and every day and at noon and whatever, like those companies now have an opportunity to like capitalize on home improvement, capitalize on like any additional like services that relate to the home or to like your like family time. Board games, I feel like, and video games have had a huge surge lately in that. Like it's super hard to
I
find a Nintendo Switch right now.
I was gonna say the
Like
Switch. I really wanted to. My boyfriend's birthday is coming up, and he really wants to play Animal Crossing. But people have bought out all the Switches because
yeah.
this Animal Crossing game just came out. Everybody's playing it. It's all anybody's talking about. So they bought them all up, and now people are marking them up on Craigslist like 100%, like
Yep. I was just
110%.
I was just on a phone call with my family last night, a Zoom meeting, and my uncle's a lawyer, and he was asking me about my microphone and my webcam, and he was like, "What are those? Where did you get those?" And I was like, "Oh, I've had these for because he was saying that like the webcam I use, I think it's Logitech C920, that webcam has skyrocketed in price. It used to be like a $90 webcam or $70 webcam on sale. Now, the only price I was really able to find on Amazon was in the $200 range.
Yeah, I
So
mean it's so I guess if business isn't doing too hot for you, you can always, if you got a Switch or a webcam laying around, that's the time. But
yeah, now's the time if you want to offload any home tech. Now is absolutely the time. But
but you could, I mean, you can use it. Obviously, we do it every week, but I think live streaming is,
yes,
just staying in touch with your audience since they can't really visit your business. Just letting them know you're there and you're like keeping them informed, engaged. I think going live is a really good thing, especially right now. Like
yep. going
everybody.
going live, making content that both entertains and also keeps people informed is very important because people are being inundated with a bunch of stuff right now by being on social media a lot more and on the internet a lot more.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to strike a balance between like being over flooding them with like useful content, but you also want to be entertaining in the way that content's delivered. Eric says fly live stream for the win. He just popped in chat. Of course, Eric, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
But
and we have so many videos about live streaming.
yes,
So if you check out our YouTube, you can kind of I think at this point definitely get a good start to live streaming. We had a live stream about live streams. We
yeah,
had we actually next week have a our first virtual marketers anonymous, and it's all about turning your events that you planned. We're talking to two event coordinators, which we had already scheduled before all this happened, and it's kind of an interesting topic for our first virtual event because they plan events, so
yeah.
they're kind of talking about how they transition, you know, these events that they planned to be online, and that's where live streaming is good too. But I think,
Yeah,
yeah, thinking about social media during this time has been really interesting. Obviously, like a lot of the campaigns for our clients has changed. I think one of our biggest ones was an indoor playground called Funville. They were definitely obviously hit pretty hard, but I think just keeping their, they got a lot of followers, just keeping everybody informed and giving them stuff to do with their kids has been kind of our main focus. Like there's a lot of the Virginia Living Museum is like, you can like look at the otter tank and kind of they go behind the scenes and give tours, or like the aquarium has a Georgia Aquarium has like a stream of their whale tank, and you can kind of just go on there and watch the whales. Um, so giving resources like that to your clients or to your customers through social media, or if you're able to like provide your service virtually somehow, kind of how the Living Museum and I think the Norfolk Zoo is doing something now. So maybe say, I don't know, say you like own an art gallery or something, you do an art tour. Or if you are a restaurant, you can, do like just little videos of like recipes or something like that. And just giving people content to like be able to enjoy your product or your service or, your place just like at home. If you're a boutique or like a retail space, move your sales to online. Just really think about how much you can do and how much you can provide for your audience by like, your storefront being closed, and just think, how can I engage them online and kind of give them what they want from my business online?
yeah. We live in a really amazing time in that if this had happened in say the '90s, it would have decimated a lot of businesses. And that's not to say that this isn't still tragic for some people. Never want to make light of that, but also this is maybe the one of the best times in history for something like this to happen, where everyone has access to things like air conditioning and the internet. Having the internet and things like that, where you can still leverage your audience, still be in front of your brand, still or make your brand be in front of your audience, and still kind of control some of how your product is delivered to people. For instance, I there's a local coffee shop in Norfolk downtown called Latte Cafe. They switched their they're obviously relying on people coming to their store. They switched all of their social media posting from being about like the specials in store to they were going out and home delivering bags of coffee. So you could literally Venmo them like $30 and like with the note of what coffee you wanted. And I was messaging them on Instagram. And they were super responsive. They were on it. And then later that day, around like 2 o'clock, I had coffee delivered right to my door. And I needed it because all the coffee was gone at the grocery store. And it's a local coffee. So, it feels like I'm supporting local business. It's a place that I love and go to a lot anyway. So I want to support that place in times when things are bad. And I think that sentiment is actually really like popular right now, where people, one of our employees here at Array was talking in a meeting earlier today about maintaining the full amount of a gym membership for a local gym that they use because they want to support that gym and they're good people. and they're used to going there because even though the gym was offering a reduced rate during COVID. And I think leveraging that goodwill that people already have towards your business and like letting people know, like, hey, support local, shop local, because those are the businesses most likely to be affected by this stuff, can be effective like throughout, like interspersed through other parts of your marketing strategy. And you know, we've been talking about how things have been changing a lot lately, and we've kind of changed messaging for kind of a lot of our clients. Like basically every home service client has changed in some way. We deal with a lot of train dealers, train comfort specialist dealers, and their messaging that that we've kind of switched to for many of them deals with keeping your home safe, because Train, as the national brand, offers air cleaners, air scrubbers. And that is a direct service that people are looking for right now because they want to keep their home like as clean and safe as possible, especially if you have people who are at risk. Like my wife has chronic illness; she has Crohn's disease, which puts her at a higher in a higher bracket for COVID because she's immunosuppressed. And that's you know, we don't want to like prey on people. We just want to offer people services that are relevant. And it comes back to this idea of authenticity and relevance in advertising is like always going, no matter what's happening in the world, being authentic and being relevant to what your customer wants is tremendous. And anything you can do right now to let your customers know that they can be safe with like, or how they can be safe, how they can be entertained, and how they can engage with your business, even though things are kind of topsy-turvy right now, is going to be good for you in the long run, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you also got to think like you kind of got to put stuff aside and be like how can I help, you know, people that have been supporting me even, you know, throughout when everything was normal. And you got to kind of put yourself in their shoes and be like, you know, they're probably a little strapped for cash, like need some help or whatever. So any discounts, I know I got some coffee delivered too, which doesn't normally happen. So, you know, if you can drop something off at somebody's house, if you can offer a little discount. I mean, we're doing something at Array that we've never done, signing new clients right now and giving them their first month free. And so, you know, if you do know a business or somebody, just let them know that like that's kind of our way to try to help businesses that have been affected. Just giving them a little discount, which we would usually never do that. So it's just takes this special incident to like kind of rethink everything, like things that you might not have wanted to do or wanted to try, like or you know, I mean, we're not luxury. That sounds weird, but like, you know, we're a talented agency with, you know, a lot of resources and aspects that, you know, we don't feel like need to be discounted, but we just being able to help out where you can is really crucial. And that's going to show authenticity, not only in your advertising, but like your entire business ethos. Like values in business is really important.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like that lines up that first month free that we have going on, the stimulus package that we have happening for local businesses. That is sort of emblematic of also this charity that like we've always done like one website a year completely for free, right? Like for a charity organization, for a 501c3. So and we've done several of those in the past couple of years that have done very well. They don't. It's not. It doesn't win us anything other than, you know, the any kind of press that might come of it. But honestly, like we're doing it more because those businesses so often get preyed upon by advertisers and so often need the help. And it's something that we just kind of wanted to offer for free. And then this is kind of in my eyes kind of an offshoot of that, where now there's a lot of people who just need a like they need the start, right? Like you need like that to get going, and everyone needs advertising right now because people are at home. You're not getting people by word of mouth and like at a water through the water cooler anymore because people aren't really at water coolers. People aren't driving around and like trying new things just by the sign on the front of your building. Like you have to engage with people in their homes, and one of the most effective ways to do that is with online advertising and having a good website and having good social media presence and like getting good search volume through organic Google search. So we felt it was just really necessary to offer that to businesses in need, and everyone is kind of in need right now, and we wanted to kind of do our part where we can.
Definitely. I mean, I think like you hit the nail on the head. Like, just it is so important right now to have an online presence and just have yourself out there, like being people's feeds, like spreading as much positivity as you can, but also like keeping your advertising and social media grounded, and just getting people to love your brand and its values and the importance that it holds in their life. That's kind of the number one thing right now.
Yeah, I would have. Well, I would say the number one thing right now is reach out to the people who are absolutely important to you, because this is a time where a lot of people are feeling isolated. We're hitting around 30 minutes, so we're probably going to wrap up here soon. And I just wanted to let everyone know, like, hey, we're talking about businesses and advertising on these streams and everything, and we're here to entertain and answer questions. Feel free to pop any questions in chat if you want, by the way. But also, as much as we're checking in with you, as much as like you're seeing us, check in with your friend circle, check in with people around you, see what people need, how you can help, or if you need help, don't be afraid to reach out to people. This is a really important time for all of us to stay connected, and this live stream is just one way that we're trying to do that right now. We just want to thank everyone also for coming out here, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, like if you need help or have questions or just like need advice, just give us a call, shoot us an email. We do free digital reviews still, so no contracts or anything if you just want us to look over everything. And you definitely reach out to your friends and family and call your mom.
Yeah, please call your mom. Just any mom, I'm sure right now would just love a good call. There's no question. So we got a question from Neil Anglin right here. He said he hopes it wasn't answered or missed. And then are people getting burnout on webinars, or is this just a new way of doing business? I don't know that this is a new normal. I think webinars themselves have been around for some time, and that they aren't really going away. I think this is one of those things where there's more awareness about online advertising services than there ever has been, and like technology like this. Me and my wife were talking a couple days ago about like what this is going to do about internet awareness. We're fortunate enough to live in a city that has really good internet and like pay for a good internet plan, but like what is this going to do now that like schools out in maybe some like Surrey or like past Suffolk and those kind of Smithfield, where people just are on dial-up and have to be like just straight up homeschooled, and don't have access to online resources like that. I mean, it's not. I don't know that this is like the new normal, but it's definitely going to change things in how businesses are done. If anything, I think it's going to open more doors going forward for a bunch of different verticals and businesses, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's an interesting question because it's definitely saturated. I mean, every time I open Instagram, it's like, where the stories are, it's like just all lives. So yeah, I think Neil brings up a good point. But honestly, when really the only thing to do is be on the internet, that's kind of like, you can never have too much of something to check out or watch. Obviously, with everything being live, you can't get it all. But we always upload our live streams to YouTube. So if you do live, maybe Facebook, I know, keeps it in the videos, so just make it accessible to somebody later if they can't all, watch it at the same time because they're like watching another live. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. I watched a concert on Wednesday from like this musician's bedroom, and it's kind of I go to a lot of shows, so it was nice to kind of get that experience, and I don't think it would have happened if this wasn't happening, So I see where Neil's kind of coming from, definitely. And with oversaturation, you just got to think, how can I stand out? So just think like what you can do differently, and just kind of make it stand out in your own way.
Yeah, and I think to also I do think like we missed a part of his question, like are people getting burnt out on these things? I don't
I
think
hope
people
not.
are. Yeah, I hope not because it's going to be this way for a little bit. If you are getting burnt out, our boss Eric is always an advocate of, hey, just go outside for a minute. He typically takes like maybe 30 minutes a day some days to go out and just bike ride or run or something like that. I think if you're feeling cooped up or you're feeling like there's too much screen time happening, definitely like get outside, go enjoy time, or just like close your eyes, listen to some music on your bed or something. Just like get away from it for a minute. Don't like burnout is big in any industry. It doesn't it's not specific to webinars and stuff. And there are definitely tools for you for that. But yeah, there are a lot right now, and I think that's a right now thing. I don't think that's a forever thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think like right now there's more awareness for webinars, and there's more webinars happening. I don't think that's forever. That's gonna it'll die down some. I think it will change things going forward. It'll be interesting to see how things change. So
Yeah, I mean, even, yeah, people might be getting burnt out, but it's really it's our only option to like reach out to people. And it's for your business, it's really the only way you can reach out to your customers. So webinar away.
yeah, absolutely. And I hope that everyone stays safe, stay inside, and make the most of this, guys. We're in it for
Yeah.
the long haul, and know that you're not alone, and that we're all in this together. All right,
Yeah. Call your mom.
call your mom. Call your mom.
Have a good day.
I'm gonna go call my mom at lunch right now. I hope everyone has a good one. All right.
All right. See you guys next week.
See you next week, everybody.